the journey, liberating. I heard a number of key things there. And I'm often asked the question, and I'm going to ask this of you, how does team coaching actually work? So Harriet, welcome. We have a quick interview today about team coaching. And really, I just want to kick off with that question, how does team coaching actually work?
How does it work?
Yes, in practice.
So in practice, well, it works in it depends a little bit on each team. And it starts with the team leader, if there is one. I'm currently coaching a team without a team leader, which is a very interesting thing, but we won't go there for now. Another podcast maybe. But it starts with the team leader and what they want. What would good look like from this team? And it's an interesting thing. Many leaders find themselves like the people in the team. They've inherited their team like their families. They didn't necessarily choose them. They come in and they find themselves leading, and they have an idea of what a great leader is. And it's often, big hero style things. You will inspire, you will give vision, you will do all of those things, right? But does it ask, are you going to get the best out of this group of people so that the combined effort of the 5 or 6 or 8 people in your team is greater than some of those individuals? And does it ask, are you getting the extra talents that are not listed on the job description? Are you getting more from them? And are you getting discretionary effort from them in the way they work together when you're not together? So you start with that conversation with the team leader and explore what do they want and also where their pinch points are. And then you would typically move on, and with their clear permission, obviously the team leader is your key partner in this work, you would meet each member of the team and really find out, how's it feeling for you being in this team? And then more importantly, and as I mentioned earlier, you bring some of the outsiders into the discussion. So it may be the board. What does the board want from this team if it's in a structure like that? What do the key customers of this team want, and how do they perceive its work? Because often teams, they'll get together in a huddle and they'll consider their mission or even their purpose, and they'll be like, it's a bit like alchemy, or you get together again. It's one of those, too many muffins kind of days when you get together and you plan. But often the voices and the views of those people are not in the room. And what they really need from you and what implications that might have for the way you work together can be really critical. So that investigation is how it begins, really trying to investigate and create a space where the data begins to emerge from the team themselves as to what it is they want and how they want to move forward. And what might be the initial quick wins that they get might be about listening better to each other. It might be about having a team charter, or it might come from the other end, which says we need to really clarify the purpose of what we're doing. Who's it for? And not just who's it for today, but in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you're the next generation. What is this about? Because that may affect the decisions that you make today.
And what's coming out for me, Harriet, is what difference or what impact does that make as a result of kind of going through that kind of process?
I think one client came back to me recently and sort of said, I don't know what magic you did, but it was magic. And by that he meant, I think, that the process of team coaching, which is a combination. So there's a combination of the kind of workshop work where you get together as a team and you explore what is your purpose, how do you work together, what are you aiming for, how do you learn together. So there's kind of that internal discussion takes place in a workshop environment, but it combines with, and this is really critical, it combines with an observation of business as usual meetings. How do you behave together? The fly on the wall kind of approach. And I don't know, and I think there's research to be done on how much that actually affects the way business as usual meetings happen. But nevertheless, it's a combination of not just being in a workshop environment. So you look at the business as usual. And for people I think they feel supported in a new way. I know when we had that meeting that I referred to, I said it was absolutely liberating. We were able to say things in safety that we hadn't felt that safe to do before. We were able to explore assumptions about each other, many of the same things that you might do on a team building exercise. But also, more importantly, we really looked at the external context together and what those key customers and people affected by our work might be thinking, and then said, so what? And one of the most impactful exercises that I've run with a team is where you anonymize, who am I, what do I want, what do I get out of this, what do I need from others to help me do this? And then somebody else reads it, and the whole of the team's going, who's that? Wait a minute. Well, I think it's that person. And they don't always know who it is, which is really interesting. And then they suddenly see that there's ways of enabling each other to perform better in the service of the very people we've been talking about. So it can be a very powerful shift in the way people work together.